now it's good afternoon. So, good afternoon, all the consumers present here. I'm Jayashree Gupta, once upon a time, I was Additional Secretary to Govt of India. So, I was not introduced correctly, let me correct. And now, I'm President Consumers India. Consumers India is an organization. Briefly, let me introduce this organization. And my theme would be how we are catalyzing youth in Consumers India. So, Consumers India is an intellectually strong organization which was set up by former officers of Department of Consumer Affairs in Govt of India, where I also have served that ministry in Govt of India for 6 years. And we were so fascinated by the range of issues which are covered as consumer issues, that we wanted to make it our lifelong commitment. So therefore we set up that organization, got it registered, and post-retirement we are fully busy, fully involved with carrying forward consumer movement, and catalyzing youth is one of our major activities. So basically we thought that we have a lot of experience, lot of knowledge, so let us share that for the well-being of consumers. And many more bureaucrats serving or retired joined us, some medical doctors joined us, some engineers joined us, some university professors, some school teachers, some housewives, some students, people from all segments of society. They are part of this organization, and many of them are contributing their knowledge and experience for the well-being of consumers. So, though most of us were with Govt of India, people generally think that we must be getting lots of grants, but no. We found, when I was on the other end, at the giving end, I found that even people whom we gave crores of rupees as grants, they were not doing what they were meant to be doing. So they lacked enthusiasm, they lacked interest, their only motivation was money, money, money. So we said no to money and yes to involvement. So we wanted to develop it as a truly voluntary organization, and I am very happy that it has survived for 11 years without a single grant. So, we can say that we have been successful in our experiments with volunteerism. No grants received so far, and not a single paid employee. So, but we have the best of talents available on voluntary basis, and our activities are ever increasing. Initially, I retired in 2010, and in 2011 we were out in the open with our activities. And since my last posting was as CMD IDPL, and I knew about how consumers are being cheated in terms of medicines. So our first campaign was Campaign for Affordable Drugs. Here we found that IDPL was selling a particular drug, let's say for 2 rupees, and governments were buying, health ministry was buying, state governments were buying, government organizations were buying, and IDPL was still making reasonable profit. But in the market, same drug is sold on doctor's prescription for maybe 200 rupees, maybe 500 rupees, maybe 1000 rupees, because this is an area where consumer does not know what to do. If you buy a mobile telephone, you will market search, you will net search. But in the case of medicines, doctor decides for you. And if that medicine is not available, then it's a pharmacist who decides for you. So we also raised concerns regarding unethical medical practices, regarding misleading advertisements, regarding consumer justice. They were all based on our collective knowledge and wisdom. But soon we ran out of stock. We thought we have done whatever we had, we have already shared. So what to do? So we did brainstorming among ourselves, and we thought, let's do something with youth. Let's involve them, let's try to catalyze them, and let's get more and more knowledge, newer knowledge, more areas covered in our campaigns. So this is how it is going, a combination of young and the experienced people. And though we do many other activities with youth, like All India painting slogan contest, where we get entries from all over the country, remotest corners of the country. Our internship program is very, very successful. We started in September 2012, and in 6 years we have run 27 batches and 137 studies. And those studies are on issues which affect us in our day-to-day life. Whatever we eat, there is a study. There is a study on junk food, there is a study on fruit juices, there is a study on pizza and burger, there is a study on flavored water, a study on energy drink. Whatever we use, there is a study on lipstick, there is a study on talcum powder, there is a study on perfumes, and whatever we suffer, there is a study on lead, there is a study on affordable drugs. So like that. So many studies on products and services which affect us in our day-to-day life. So, this is the team which fires the imagination of our young interns. You know, in our internship program, we just announce it through email and through social media. Since we have no money, we don't advertise through, usual media channels. So, and we get hundreds and hundreds of applications online, everything happens online. And we really have to scrutinize and then make a badge. So this is the team. Dr. Tiwari, he is sitting here. He is PhD he has also about 40 years experience with the Govt of India. And he has a PhD degree in environmental law. Then the next is me. I am also, about 39 years experience of Govt of India and PhD in public administration on health-related issues. Then Amita, she retired recently as a principal in a school, and Geeta, she is PhD in gender issues. And we have 2-3 more who are not here in this group, but they are all equally qualified. So I'm just sharing with you some of the campaigns which we have taken up on the basis of these studies carried out through our internship program, where people like us, Tiwari ji, Amita, Geeta, Akanksha, we act as mentors, and students from all over the country, from the best institutions, they come as interns, and the duration of this internship is 1 month to 1.5 months only. And during that period, they do a wonderful job. We are able to catalyze them. We tell them about RTI, how to file RTI. We tell them about how to identify and report misleading advertisement. We tell them about what is junk food and what are unethical medical practices, and we share with them all our campaigns. And we also ask them as a group to study a subject in depth and come up with the truth and their recommendations. So this is one example: save our teens from flavored water. And flavored water, you all might have seen lots of advertisements. it's being sold as a healthy substitute for water. And of course, there are lots of beautiful ads which are promoting it. You get the goodness of fruits in it, but there is no actual fruit in it. It has all the unhealthy ingredients like artificial flavors, sugars, sweeteners, preservatives, carbonated water, caffeine, and whatnot. It was not being regulated by anyone. So we raised those issues on the basis of this study, and you will be very happy to know that FSSAI, Food Safety Standards Authority of India, they have issued standards for non-carbonated water-based beverages in 2017. So, flavored water is being regulated. Similarly, in the case of energy drinks, it was a group led by Amit, who was at that time doing chemical engineering from IIT Delhi. That group found that high level of caffeine, sugar, and other harmful ingredients are very, very harmful. And young people who are now consuming energy drinks, it has become a status symbol for them. But they suffer from sleeplessness, palpitations, nausea, and many more health problems. And there's another trend, mixing of energy drinks with alcohol, or mixing of flavored water with alcohol, which can be even more dangerous than drinking alcohol alone. So we raised all those issues. We take up those issues with the authorities, with dear Mr. Prime Minister and everyone else in the decision-making position, and also we share on social media. So our campaign led to review of standards of caffeine in non-alcoholic beverages, and now it is less than 300 mg per liter. So the campaign was successful. I am sure, and in all our campaigns, we give credit to students who have carried out that study. When we share with Mr. Prime Minister and other policymakers, we write that we are briefly sharing the findings emanated from this study carried out by the team led by so and so. So, I'm sure it would be a proud moment for all those interns whose studies are shared on social media and with the policymakers. Organ donation, we all know that there is huge gap between demand and supply. People need 1.5 lakh patients require kidney transplantation, just one example, but only 4,000 receive it. Just the other day I was reading in the newspaper that someone died because of lack of organ, and that organ and his organs were used for someone else. So we have been, in our campaign, we have been appealing for following some of the best international practices where everyone in some countries, everyone is a donor. If you don't want to be a donor, you have to say so. You have to register as a non-donor. In some countries, they say that when you go for driving license, then you have to write whether you would like to be an organ donor. And our survey carried out by the students of this study, that revealed that most people would be glad to be organ donor, because after all, after we are no more, if someone can get benefited, who would object to that? But most people don't take this initiative to go and register. So, but now, this clause has been added in the driving license format by Govt of India. We want to be an organ donor. So this is leading to increase in donation. So Ravindra is doing a wonderful job here. He has done 3 studies with us in Consumers India. And this is one of them, diabetes and hypertension drugs. How affordable? The group was led by Ravindranath, who was a medical student at that time. And the group found that there is great disparity between the prices of branded and unbranded medicine. For the same condition, Some people are spending 200 while others are spending 2,000 rupees. Government has taken the initiative to set up Jan Aushadhi outlets, but it was found that only 10%, because there are so few, only 10% of those surveyed bought medicines from Jan Aushadhi outlets. So we added this voice to our already existing campaign for access to affordable drugs, and you will be very happy to know that this campaign has led to a saving of 11,463 crores to consumers, as informed by the government in Lok Sabha. This is one example how consumers are being cheated. Glimepiride is the generic name of a diabetic drug, and in Jan Aushadhi it is being sold for 11 rupees 81. And Amaryl, which was the brand, one of the popular brands, was being sold for 117 rupees plus. And after introduction of price regulation, the price was reduced by about 50%. So still our fight has to carry on, but we have achieved substantial things. Toxic metals in beauty products. Here, number of studies on different cosmetic products were carried out, and we found that a lipstick using woman consumes 2 kgs of lipstick in her lifetime, and it's all lead and other metals, so which are very, very harmful, can cause cancer and whatnot. We found that chemical composition of tobacco and perfume, that is common. It's just, the change of smell, that's all. Another study on fairness creams found that there is a steroid and mercury and other chemicals and hard metals in fairness creams. So our campaign, we took up campaign on the basis of various studies, and we are very happy to see that now the drug regulator has notified draft cosmetic rules, which also cover imported cosmetics, because that is also one of our major problems. Consumer justice, how far? We have very, unique Consumer Protection Act, but that was made in 1986, and it was conceived well, but everything needs to change with time. So now what is the reality? Barely 10% cases are decided within 90 days when consumers are expected to get justice within 90 days. But the fight goes on for years and years. So we took up campaign on the basis of various studies, like make consumer forums consumer friendly. This was one campaign. Introduce product recall system, which is not there in India, but some of the more developing countries or developed countries have. Save us from misleading advertisements. We shared our findings on the basis of various studies. And we were very happy to see that Consumer Protection Bill 2018 has provision for Consumer Protection Authority, which will have powers to save us from misleading advertisements, which will have power to recall a product, ask companies to recall a product and impose penalties. It also imposes obligation on celebrities who are endorsing products which are misleading, advertisements which are misleading. So this bill has been passed by Lok Sabha on 20th December 2018. Now, we have made several appeals to lawmakers. We'll make again. Through this forum, I'm making an appeal to some of our distinguished lawmakers sitting here, that please ask Rajya Sabha to pass this bill so that before the elections are held, this bill is converted into act, and consumers neglected. So this is just a picture to show how we encourage students to come up with presentations. They present their studies at the end of a batch, and we ask them to make their presentation when we have talks on different subjects. And we try to derive, for example, recently we organized a talk on junk food making our children obese. So we have done a study on the subject, and we asked those interns also to present their study before the audience. So these are some of the other activities: All India painting, slogan and photography contest. We take up issues which are relevant to consumers, like save water, save life, global warming and survival, junk the junk food, I am a city changer, gender equality, etc. Thousands of entries from the remotest corners: child studying somewhere in Nagaland, child studying somewhere in Ladakh, in Jammu and Kashmir, child studying somewhere in Dadra and Nagar Haveli. They also send their entries. All this happens by post. They send their entries by post or through courier, and we send our prizes through courier or by speed post. So 100 to 200 prizes we send all over the country every year. We also organize our exhibition of prize-winning paintings in collaboration with Habitat. So every year now, for last 2 years, we have been organizing. Nukkad Natak on consumer issues. This is another thing which we do sometimes. This was done in collaboration with Miranda. Then we took up another initiative, organized this in collaboration with Habitat. In this program, you'll be very happy to know, young and old. The oldest member of the team was about 72-year-old, and the youngest was 18-year-old. So it was a mixed group, and that group makes the write-up also. The script is also prepared by them. So generally, misleading advertisements, junk food, unethical medical practices. These are very common issues, but sometimes, online frauds, those kind of issues are also taken up. Inter-college poetry contest. This we introduced for the first time this year. इश्तिहारों की चमकती दुनिया, कितनी सच्ची कितनी झूठी. In collaboration with Satar, which is a consumer club in PGDAV College of Delhi University. Just one example. इश्तिहार कुछ चटपटे, कुछ अतरंगी, कुछ सच्चे, कुछ बेकाबी. फीकी दुनिया को मसाला बनाते ये इश्तिहार, सादी दुनिया को चमकाते ये इश्तिहार. अक्सर हमें असलियत से दूर लेकर जाते हैं, कुछ को दिखाकर हमको ये बहलाते हैं. आरिफ सिद्दीकी from PGDAV College, Delhi University. Slogans galore, just a few examples. We have no right to worship goddesses if we cannot respect their human form. This comes from a child in 8th standard in Indore, in Madhya Pradesh. Much cars create rush, we stop it, use bus. This comes from a 9th standard child from Assam, Golpara, Assam. Oh human, don't think about gender. It's just for identification and not for discrimination. This comes from 9th student from Krishna district in Andhra Pradesh. Plastic, plastic, go away. I want my earth to play. So, this is the last one. The journey goes on. We motivate youth to enlighten others. We feel that they will enlighten themselves in that 1 month that they have interned with us, though we only call them once a week. Okay, we don't call them more than 5 times during entire internship, but we are helping them all the time through social media, through emails, through WhatsApp groups, and our mentors are very, very proactive. So they learn so much and they have themselves researched and come out with beautiful findings. So we ask them to keep up that movement and catalyze others, enlighten others. We tell them, deep se deep jali. So that's how it should be.